Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned into Slam X and my very first video on this channel. With June 17th now upon us, I thought it would be a good time to answer some of your questions directly from X. If you don't follow me on there, first of all, how are you here? Secondly, go and follow me at sub2slamx and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. With all that out the way, let's get started. This first question comes in from Geo is Usi. How would they continue the hints/stories from the QR codes, like the cave, the coordinates, the therapy, journal entries, etc., into the story when the group debuts/returns? Now, initially, I saw a lot of people play with the idea of the journal being updated throughout this group's run on TV. So perhaps every week, after a segment or something, the journal gets updated. Now, I liked that idea. And to be honest, I still like that idea. But my only issue with it is, once this group is on TV, they've sort of entered the realm of just being TV characters. Like right now, they have transcended the whole WWE, I would say even. This just feels bigger. For us at least. But once they're on TV, they're introduced to the TV audience. Some people, a lot of people, haven't been keeping up with what's been going on with the QR codes and Nightbird and everything in general. So they might not know who Uncle Howdy is, who the Wyatt Six are. They might be new to wrestling as of WrestleMania 40, so they might not even know who Bray Wyatt is. So it's tough for me because I think once they're on TV, it's hard to exclude quite a large chunk of that audience. While it might be cool to add sort of elements to their character through the journal, but I don't know, it's very tough. I feel like the sensible thing to do would be, once they're on TV, just leave it at that. Everything you see from them is on TV in front of everyone. Maybe the odd video on X, but that's as far as I would take it. Because then the whole audience that isn't keeping up is missing out on a bunch of character development, and I don't know if that's a good thing. This next question comes in from CFC Kaz6. Do you think they'll go straight into a feud or just start attacking random people? And then the discussion under it brought out comparisons to Retribution. Now, before I start this, I will say that during the pandemic, the Bray Wyatt segments are pretty much all I watched. I barely watched anything else in WWE. So I was aware of like Retribution and the stuff that was happening, but I don't remember much, and what I do remember wasn't good. So for me, I think the main principle that I think they'll need to follow and use is show not tell. I feel like Retribution looked, from the videos I've seen since, they just looked like, for want of a better word, they looked corny. It just didn't look good. And maybe it was because there was no crowd and they just came in and like beat up the ring. It just didn't look right. It didn't feel right. But that was, for me, a lot of wrestling didn't feel right during that time. So I don't know. I feel like now the random attacks would work better. But I think what I would prefer is you just start seeing backstage or whatever, people just, like, if we're going dark, brutally beaten in the back, but you only see the aftermath. You don't see it actually happen. And whether they target someone, we'll get onto Chad Gable in a bit, but whether they target anyone specifically, maybe people related to them, or I don't know, do you attack random WWE producers? I don't think that looks good. I feel like people won't care. If you see, I don't know if they go after the Alpha Academy. This whole Chad Gable thing is throwing a big spanner into the works. But I don't know what I want out of this. I feel like whatever will happen will be good. It's hard to fantasy book it. It's very hard. But I do think they'll pretty much start into a feud. I would lean more to that side, just because all of this seems very targeted. And while it does seem targeted at the WWE as a whole, it started to feel more targeted to individuals. Now, we're not entirely sure on who those individuals are, but we'll have to wait and see. To be honest, we'll get to that. I feel like people ask who are they targeting. We'll get to that. So thank you for the question. So this next question comes in from Tribal 2006. Who will they target? Now, I will say, I feel like before Bobby Lashley got injured, I think he would have been a great name to go after, because that was the loose end that never got tied. Bray Wyatt had a match scheduled against Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 39, and obviously we tragically didn't get to see it for reasons I don't need to explain. I feel like Bobby Lashley was a good name, but obviously he's out, he's injured. My next pick would be LA Knight, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like LA Knight is there's being a heel group, which I think this group will be, but then there's attacking like one of the most beloved baby faces, and I think it would be in a way that people would get angry that LA Knight isn't more focused on like a US title shot, for example. If I feel like a big portion of the fan base would be angry that this is the direction they take LA Knight, considering they feel like WWE have wasted a lot of time already with him. Me included, I think LA Knight should have a championship before the end of this year. I think that's like my deadline. So as far as who will they target, obviously we have Chad Gable. The clues from this past weekend, CG and You Stopped Saying Thank You, would make one believe he stopped saying thank you. Would make one believe that it's Chad Gable. But it's hard to see how that will play out. I imagine the Alpha Academy would be involved if that is the case. Maybe the Creed brothers. Perhaps while we get a Chad Gable segment of him scolding the Alpha Academy, the lights go out and we get the group, the Wyatt Six, come out and just destroy Chad Gable. And I don't know if they'll target Otis and Tozawa and Maxine. Perhaps we get the whole academy laid out, the Creed brothers, everyone, and we get some. Wait, how many people would that be? So there'll be Brutus and Julius, that's 2, Chad Gable, Akira Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, and Otis, that's 6. And then the Wyatt Six. But there's not actually 6 people unless you count Alexa Leia. I don't know, it's weird. You could have the Alpha Academy join forces with the Creed brother. I don't know. It's weird. I can't think of a way that they target Chad Gable, but the clues seem to point towards Chad Gable, so we'll have to wait and see. But regardless of who they target, I have full faith that it's going to be great, and I know I'll be watching. So yeah, thank you for the question. Next question comes from Sliced Bread, and the name is not Sliced Bread. Okay. Thoughts on the Uncle Howdy account? Yeah, so this probably comes from yesterday. Today is June 16th as I'm recording this. I know I said June 17th is upon us, but when it's uploaded, June 17th will be upon us. So yesterday, Uncle Howdy shouted out my X account. Well, the Uncle Howdy fan account on X, or on Twitter. And yeah, Uncle Howdy's great. The Uncle Howdy fan account's great. I'm pretty sure you might be the one running it. I don't know. But yeah. Uncle Howdy, great in my books. Great guy. This next question comes in from Chelsea Gamble. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but yeah. Do you think there are more than just the Wyatt Six? I've seen rumours of the Firefly Fun House coming to life. What's your thoughts? For me, I think we're definitely gonna see some sort of Firefly Fun House. For me, I think I tweeted this out or posted this, whatever, a while back. I think we get a much darker, rendition of the Firefly Fun House. I don't think it will be like seemingly oriented towards children, like a children's style show like the original was, because I don't know, I feel like this has to be darker. We've already seen so much dark clues, like so much dark imagery, videos, everything in this has been horror related. Now, I'm not saying we won't see a normal Firefly Funhouse, but I feel like we need to see just a much darker version right from the jump, because we know the secret now. It's originally it was this bright kids show, and then slowly delved into darkness, and we saw the fiend and everything. That was great. But now we know what's up. We know Howdy and the group have been kidnapping people. We know they've been attacking people. They plan to attack people. So yeah, it has to be darker in my books. But yeah, I think we will see the Firefly Funhouse coming to life. Perhaps. I think everyone's going to represent one of the puppets regardless. Whether that be officially said or just implied. I think we'll just run with we'll just run with the idea that the puppets are within each of the members. But yeah, thank you for the question. I think it'll be good. The Firefly Funhouse. Say that 10 times fast. This next question comes in from Mikey D99. What do you hope the costumes are like for all the members? Well, the images we've seen, the distorted images we've seen, especially the ones more recent, I think they look great. I would take a lot of inspiration from the Bludgeon Brothers, Rowan and Harper. I really liked their attires, and like 2018 Bray, I want to say, or 2017, around that time, I really liked that whole look. But yeah, it's been reported that a lot of work went into these costumes, and when you've got the people that are involved in making the Fiend's mask and Howdy's mask and everything, like, the costumes won't look bad. And I think as a unit, that's what I want to see mainly. I just want to see what they look like as a unit, because I feel like it'll be wallpaper worthy. I think it'll look really cool with some smoke. As again, I'm using the word, as corny as it sounds, the smoke behind, I think it'll look great. But yeah, we'll see. The costumes will be great. I have no doubt about it. And yeah, I don't know what else to add to that. So these next questions are a little similar, so I'll group them together. They come from Tutorial Tommy and Infection 1. They ask, how do you think the massacre will play out? Will they just attack people randomly or focus on one or more people? And do you think maybe NXT will also be involved in this storyline? How do you think the massacre will happen? Similar to how an attack happens, like Survivor Series, Raw vs SmackDown. So, as far as the massacre, will they attack people randomly? I think I discussed this earlier. I think they need to do a lot of showing rather than telling. If they directly show you the attacks, people will get like retribution vibes. With a crowd, it might feel different, but there is that. I think you just need to see the aftermath of what happens and like have enough shock value in that. Have people like strung up on the wall or something crazy that makes people like feel just fear from seeing what's happened. I think that's the best way to go about it. As far as a randomly attack, I don't know. I think it's going to be targeted. Whether the targeting will be clear from the start might be a different question. I think we'll be like, why have they attacked this person? They don't seem to be involved, but it'll become clear eventually. Like, we'll understand, we'll find patterns, etc. Do you think maybe NXT will be involved? See, it's a weird one, because we did get one singular QR code on an NXT episode. I think it was maybe the end of May. And I don't really watch NXT. I haven't since I came back to watching wrestling. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see a way it would happen, but it could be interesting. But I feel like if they go too off the rails and attack people on Raw, people on NXT, people on SmackDown, it might just feel like retribution. But hopefully not. I don't even know who they'd attack in NXT. But yeah, how do you think the massacre will happen? Similar to how an attack happens like Survivor Series. That could be a way of going about it. But who would they go after? Like, that would mean a random attack. It would feel like a random attack unless they attack the whole Alpha Academy for some reason. But we'll find out. It will be great. And yeah. This next question comes in from Isaac. I don't know how to pronounce your username, so I'm just gonna go with Isaac. And they ask, do you think they are gonna take the whole show over tomorrow from start to finish? I'm gonna go ahead and say no, because I feel like there's too many stories that are going on right now with Judgment Day, with Damian Priest outside of Judgment Day, even with Drew McIntyre, everyone else involved. Like, I feel like there's too much going on right now for Howdy in the group to take over the whole show. Plus, obviously, some people aren't fans of this whole group already from the jump. Which, yeah, fair enough. Like, they might not have been fans of Bray Wyatt. That's their opinion. So I don't know. I feel like if they took over the whole show, people wouldn't be happy. Like, especially right after a PLE, where stuff happens like that with CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. I think CM Punk's not at Raw tomorrow or today when you're watching this. But yeah, I imagine Drew's gonna come out, have something to say. Priest will have something to say. We obviously have Gunther and Kaiser and Chad Gable and everything. There's so much going on. So yeah, we have Braun Breaker and Ricochet, and there's way too much going on for them to take over the whole show. So I don't think that will happen. I think it'll be limited to a segment. Maybe we see teasers throughout the whole show, and then the last segment is the group and whatever happens with them. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would very much enjoy that. Maybe even a QR code. Who knows? I'm not saying there will be one. I'm just speculating. Maybe we get one more. I'm gonna need my QR code fixed eventually. I might start making my own puzzles at this point. There might have been a QR code flashing up at this video. I'm joking. Do not go looking. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna take over the whole show. Yeah. And this final question comes in from Olivia. And the username is Kira555. I don't know which name you go by. I'm going to assume Olivia. This question comes from Olivia. How long would this massacre last? Now, this is a big question, because the massacre is coming. We know that. And I've already said I don't think it's going to be for the entire show. And once they attack once, what are they going to do next week? I think we're just going to see whoever they target get brutally, for want of a better word, brutally beaten on Raw tomorrow. And massacred in a sense. Like, well, we're going to see the physical massacre tomorrow or today. And then over time, it's going to be a massacre of character. They're going to, like, psychologically, mentally, everything, just dismantle whoever they're targeting. And it's already been said there's a lack of supernatural elements to this, which I'm impartial to. I think we'll have to see what it looks like before we can get an opinion on that. But yeah, I feel like whoever they go after, we'll just assume it's Chad Gable at this point, and be surprised otherwise. But yeah, I think they're gonna. This feud is gonna be a dismantling of a character, and then we'll see if it is Chad Gable. We might not even see the Creed brothers join him until after this happens. So this is the final dismantling of Chad Gable. He's lost after losing what's supposed to be his final shot at the Intercontinental title, at least while Sami Zayn's holding it. And yeah, maybe they move on completely from that, and they just destroy and take everything away from Chad Gable, and then he joins up with the Creed brothers, and then that forms Team Gable, or whatever they call it. Team Angle too. I don't know what they'll call it. But yeah, I don't know where the rest of the Alpha Academy go after that. I don't know if you can build a feud with Otis and Tozawa versus the Creed brothers, so maybe it does help that the Wyatt Six would be involved to like push that story forward. Yeah, it's a weird one. It is a weird one. And I feel like the community is getting pretty set on the idea of Chad Gable. But it feels, I don't know, it's weird. It's very weird. But as I've said many times in this video, I'm sure it will be good. It will be good. I think Triple H wants to do, or even before Bray's passing, he wanted to do right by Bray. He gave him creative control a lot more than he had under the other regime, and you can see in the documentary how passionate and how much Triple H himself enjoyed working with Bray and with Taylor, with Bo, with Howdy, with whichever name you want to call him. And I think it will be the same now, or if not, because of the circumstances, that Bo will have more creative freedom, and this group will, I think it's very hard not to succeed. There will be, I'm saying this now, there will be a portion of fans who immediately, from the get-go, hate this group, hate everything about it. There will be a group of fans, a group of vocal fans. There will be vocal on Twitter, on X, about just how bad this is. But the thing is, that happened with Bray. Bray was criticized, and it's all opinions. It's all opinions. Like, it's the same thing with AEW versus WWE. It's opinions. Like, enjoy what you enjoy, and just leave other people out of it. Like, you don't have to berate someone for enjoying something that they enjoy. Like, just try to block out the noise is my advice, because there will be people who just trash on everything that happens. They've been trashing on. I've seen someone in my replies doing nothing but complaining about QR codes, and I just choose to ignore it. This is the first time I'm addressing it. I just choose to ignore it because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. And I think the WWE know that now. Like, there are a lot of differing opinions on the internet, and they're just comfortable and confident to go in the direction that they feel is correct. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Okay, as I was ending that, we do have one more question. I will make this the last one. It's from Biggie Fat 39. What a name. But they ask, how do you feel about the group's direction and goals coming from Uncle Howdy, or perhaps even a sacred book from Bray's teachings which lead the group's direction? I don't know about a sacred book. If you're talking about the notebook, I guess maybe there's that, the journal. I don't know. I'm in the camp of that being Howdy's journal from the start. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. People think, or people have said, that it was Bray's journal, and then Howdy or Bo, it like inherited it and just took it for their own and carried on. But I don't know. It feels like a very Bo thing. A sacred book from Bray's teachings. I think it's just the words of the red, or like just in general the message that Bray was trying to convey. And the thing is, this whole group is for Bray, really. It's for Wyndham. Like, it's to carry on his legacy and everything that didn't get finished. Because you have to remember, this story has already started. It started like, what, almost 2 years ago now. Even longer than that if you really think about it. But the story, and as Uncle Howdy being introduced, was almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, it's not like it's completely out of nowhere. These people and some members of this group, I think, were initially meant to be a part of it those years ago. But then obviously what happened, and we can't change that. But yeah, I think obviously they're very inspired by Bray, as they should be. And there's no way not to be. But yeah, it'll be very Bray related. I don't know about Sacred Book, but yeah, it's just Bray's message, Bray's teachings, and that'll be that. It'll be good. It will be good. And I'm sure you already know by now. I'm very excited for it. Very, very excited. And as you're watching this, if you're watching this before Raw, it will be in just a few hours from now. If you're watching this after Raw, maybe in a few years' time when it's all said and done. But as of right now, what's the date? Saturday? Sunday. It is Sunday, June the 16th. And I am very, very excited for just seeing this group, let alone the story that's about to be told. And yeah, that's it. So thank you once again to everyone who submitted a question. Apologies if more questions come in after this recording. I'm sure I'll just answer you on X. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Go and follow me on X at @SubToSlamX. And again, thank you very much for watching. Have a good day, and goodbye.